Oh, so Alex, you're just back from your foreign holidays, aren't you? Did you, you have the shish kebabs?
Oh, from the moment I arrived. But it's nice out, isn't it?
It is. I think I'll get mine out.
Welcome to the Hidden London Hangouts. We're by the sea today. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's edition of the Hidden London Hangouts. And we're by the sea today to go right back to the origins of where it all started, because for us, this was about a friendship, wasn't it?
It was about a chance encounter and a really lovely introduction from a friend, wasn't it?
It was, our mutual friend Paul.
So I'm very proud and pleased to have played a very small part in the beginnings of the Hidden London Hangout series. Picture it, in the words of the Golden Girls. It was June 2019 and I was having a garden party. And I invited some of my closest friends, and I'm very lucky and blessed that I have a lot of really nice people in my life, lovely people in fact, and everyone just got on. And I knew in particular that two people, Alex and Chris, would really get on well together. I'd known Chris through his wife Helen, and he told me all about the Hidden London series. And I thought that's really interesting because Alex loves stuff like that, and he's a big fan of London and a big kind of champion and advocate for London. And I thought they'll get on really well. So I introduced them in the kitchen and off I went, thinking they'd have maybe a chat for 5 or 10 minutes. I came back an hour later and they're still at it and sharing lots of stories, which I thought was really lovely. Left into it again. 2 hours later, they're still at it. And it was just so nice. And it's lovely when people hit it off, and it's nice when nice people kind of get together and become friends. And I'm really proud and privileged to know them both, and I love seeing the Hidden London Hangout series go from strength to strength. So I'm very proud of you guys, and I look forward to seeing you soon for a celebratory glass of fizz. Mwah.
So it started out with us going and visiting stations and what we dubbed mandates, didn't it?
So it was a station visit, a pizza and a bottle of Prosecco, or 2, maybe 3. And just a great night out. And from then, we started talking about whether we could do a podcast, maybe a telly series. And then we got the girls involved. And before we knew where we were doing a series of 55 episodes of stuff getting through 3 lockdowns.
And so today, we're down here on the seafront at Swanage. Why?
Well, for 2 reasons. Number one, we haven't been on a mandate for a while, and I thought it was about time we did something nice. But also, one of the things we haven't really talked about is London Overground. And it used to be a series of railway lines that were run by effectively British Rail on Network South East. And today we're going to go on one of the trains that was actually running on those lines in London, possibly between Gospel Oak and Barking, possibly between Paddington and Greenford, or possibly all of those different things. And it's come for retirement in Swanage in Dorset.
Wow. Well, that really is Hidden London, isn't it? Deeply Hidden London. So we're going to get going right on the train?
Yeah, we're going to,
cab?
and not just on the train. We're going into the driver's seat.
I can't wait.
It's going to be cool.
Let's go and do it.
Let's do it.
Well, here we go, Alex. Starting off from Swanage with a little token exchange going on here.
Grab the token.
Look at this, lean out the window, grab the token, and now that gives us permission.
Swanage Harmon's Cross driver.
Amazing.
That gives us the permission to carry on that single track line.
Just love it. I love it.
For us to go and have a play.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah, more play, more pasty.
Yeah, ready for some pasty.
Yeah, I'm absolutely ready for that. Oh, look at what now. This talk to us about what this is. So this is the token. That's right.
The key token.
Okay, and what does that do? Tell us what that does.
That's our permission to enter the single line section. So there's nobody else. That train that's come in has given this up.
Yep.
We've now been issued with it, so as we can go to Harmon's Cross, and we've got that signal in front of us, which is the section signal. Once we pass that signal, we must have this in our possession.
What's nice, if you could just hold that back again, you can just see it's got Swanage and Harmon's Cross.
So that is literally the only train that's allowed in that single track section is the one that's got that metal in with the driver. Yeah?
The key to the line.
The key to the line.
We have 2 systems. We have a key token system, Swanage Harmon's Cross, and we have a tablet system, Swanage Corfe Castle.
Right.
So when we don't open to Harmon's Cross, we run whole line to Corfe Castle.
Right.
And that's on a tablet system, which is a completely different machine. Yeah.
And so when we get to Harmon's Cross, we have to hand that over
We
to
swap. We'll give that in at Harmon's Cross. He'll give us another one that takes us Harmon's Cross, Corfe Castle. And then when we get to Corfe Castle, we hand that in, and he gives us one that takes us to Northern.
Lovely.
Right? And then when we get to Northern, we get a yellow one that takes us to Wareham.
Fantastic. And that is the way of stopping trains bumping into one another, which is obviously a bad thing.
Well, technically, you could bump into each other.
You could if you wanted to
It's like
scrap
driving
it.
through red lights out on the road.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't.
Well, you should.
Well, there you go. There's a crash course, literally, in train driving.
Yeah. If we pass signals of danger, which is called a SPAD.
Spads.
Yeah. All right. Then it's the driver's responsibility.
So here we go, we're at Harmon's Cross now, and it's time to exchange the token.
That's correct.
So our Swanage to Harmon's Cross one is in that pouch, and hopefully the Harmon's Cross through to Corfe Castle is in this one, and they handed it off. Okay, so now we have our token to allow us to proceed, and in a moment we can head off from Harmon's Cross towards Corfe Castle, the home of the pasty shop. Oh, and here we go. Just to prove it.
Harmon's Cross to Corfe Castle. Look at that.
Excellent.
And we've got a new tag. Yeah, new tag.
So back onto the single track line, and away we go to Pasty Lane.
So we actually call it that.
I have now.
You pull that in to put the
Now
train back
we're
in.
starting to approach Corfe Castle, and we're going to run into the station, and it's lunchtime. So here we go.
Look at the castle
And we
there.
got the road.
Yeah, you got it, mate.
This is Wurzel's Crossing.
Yeah.
They take turnips across that.
Yeah.
Look
Excellent.
at the bubble car sitting there again.
Oh yeah, we've got the bubble
Beautiful.
car just on the left there. Oh, that's lovely, isn't
And this is School Crossing.
it?
And it's 15 in here.
So there's the bubble car on the left. Looking pretty fine. And then we get to come in on the left-hand platform here. And that train on the right-hand side is ready to go back down to Swanage, yeah.
That's right.
And so presumably, once we've exchanged our token back, that gives them clearance down to Harmon's Cross.
Yeah, once he's arrived us, he'll do that one. We're due to reverse here and go back on depot.
So if you want to jump out here and go and get your passport,
And then we'll see you for the journey down to Swanage, yeah?
yeah. No,
You're-
we'll see you back on here.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah.
Are you holding this on the platform for...
Only a minute while he changes ends.
Cool, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go, the way out sign to the pasty shop. And just a little cheeky view of Corfe Castle out the front there. And here we go, time to hand the token over.
Cheers, Richard. Yeah, that's it, mate.
Back into
Well, it's a very nice way to spend a day at the Swanage Railway.
This is pretty cool, Mr. Knight, isn't it?
Really is. Oh, excuse
It's
you.
in your hooter, yeah? This is so cool. So imagine this train, right, chugging out of Gospel Oak, heading towards Barking in the late 80s.
And now look at its retirement plan.
I know.
That's all right, isn't it?
Incredible, absolutely incredible. I wonder what that sign might mean. That'll be that then.
I think that's more of a horn, isn't it? You describe that as a horn rather than a whistle, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Certainly very excited being here.
First time we've had it today. And look at that.
Stunning, isn't
That
it?
for picturesque.
But you're absolutely right, these trains.
Oh, the view is not better anywhere, anything you want to be in, you wouldn't get a better view than this.
It's absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, excuse
So
me.
sorry, it's me again. Driver, tell us who you are and how much driving did you do in your... I bet you were a proper driver in British Rail, because you've even got the British Rail shirt.
No, never.
Really?
No.
This is-
Fireman,
Really?
never drove.
When did you start driving trains and is it hard?
Swanage,
Really?
yeah.
Is it difficult to drive this thing?
No. You could do it in 10 minutes.
Did you learn to drive this because it doesn't have anywhere to put the coal? Is that?
Now, I'm what's called mixed traction. I drive everything. Okay?
That sounds great. Where do we sign?
Yeah. And look at this is Corfe Castle.
Oh, it's very pretty, isn't it?
This is the most fun you can have with your
Huge
clothes on, isn't
embankment.
it? This is brilliant.
Oh,
Sounds again.
this is
And there's the signal box. Just look at it.
And
it's
that's
definitely-
the site of the original signal box.
definitely begs a visit, doesn't it?
Definitely.
I'll put my brake off, Andrew. Slide it straight across. Andrew, push that brake back. No, the other way. That's it.
I love that.
Team driving.
Thank you.
And there's the
Oh.
transfer.
Nice to pay attention.
Beautiful. And then up here on the right hand side, Mr. Nix, you're going to see a little version of this. So we're currently on a class 117, okay? I can't believe I'm actually giving so much of my sadness away.
I do hope you put it in your book. That's all I can say. If this isn't written down somewhere.
There's quite a lot of air in it.
Madam, it is gassy. And look at that. Lovely old refreshment vehicle.
Really, really nice.
Refreshment.
Another driver
Good idea.
takes over now.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah.
I've done a full trip.
I was going to say that's a long shift.
Do we get you back at any point?
Yeah, you will during the day.
Good work.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you very
work.
much.
No, that's all right. Where's David? Is he there?
So that's the sister vehicle in the
So
side.
that up there is a one coach unit, okay? And they were affectionately known as bubble cars, but they're actually class 121 single carriage units.
Right.
And again, they were in use in London up until 1990 on low use services. So you might have gone through Olympia, Kensington Olympia, on the what is now London Overgrounds line, and you may well have been on one of those, coated out in beautiful Network Southeast red, white and blue colours. And
Fantastic.
Well,
I
yeah.
know. I was just noticing something back here while we're talking about a bit of London provenance. Look at these gorgeous seats.
aren't they beautiful? Now, you and I both love our Maquette, don't we, Chris?
We do. In fact, I have some of this at home. I have 4 seats in this Maquette at home.
Well, you're going to love a bit of this, because I decided to do a little bit of a, apart from the towel for the beach later, obviously, decided to do a little bit of a lesson in Maquette, because this is Bournemouth Blue, right? And this is the Maquette that they're using on this seat.
Am I going to find that there's a seat with roughly that size missing out of it
Yeah,
on
you
this
will.
train?
You will. But you might recognise this.
Indeed.
This is London Underground, or at least Transport's Stroud.
And we sell those as pencil cases
I
in the
know.
museum shop.
But can you notice that there's a bit of a similarity between the two?
Yes.
Why might that be?
I think it's about the designer, isn't it?
Marianne Stroud.
Indeed.
Marianne Stroud. So this is almost the British Rail equivalent of Stroud on the Tube. And the great thing about this is that when you were living in Manchester, you might have recognised this
I do indeed.
because they put it on the trains running out of Euston towards Manchester. But then they called it Bournemouth Blue because the trains to Bournemouth from Waterloo were upholstered in this as well, which is really quite cool.
It basically says going on holiday, really,
It does. But here's where the story gets a little bit more interesting, because if you look at this Maquette,
The
this one
blaze.
is blue blaze.
Heavens, You brought an entire cushion. Honestly,
Because I wanted
I
you
did
to
not
see.
know he had brought an entire cushion. I thought your back was a little well stuffed.
So did I. This, when Network South East took over the southern franchise of British Rail, they redecorated all the trains in red, white and blue on the outside, and they upholstered them in what they call blue blaze. And if you follow me into the driver's cab, just to prove to you that this is true, the second driver's seat still has very faded blue blaze on here to show that this was actually a Network South East train.
Do you know, it's generally a nice little tip, is if you want to know what things were originally trimmed in, take a look at the driver's seat.
Absolutely.
Sometimes they did just use whatever was around, but if you peel away the layers, usually the bottom one of the driver's cab tells you what it was originally.
And what's really interesting as well, when you look at trains in the sort of like 60s and 70s, you'll find that the driver's seat and the guard's seat are in different maquettes because the unions didn't like the ideas, or didn't like the idea of guards being in the same quality of seat as the driver, because the driver's so much more important than the guard, surely. So they had different seats, which was, again, it's fascinating. But these ones, I absolutely love what they've done with these. And the reason I wanted to bring you down here is A, because it's a great day out for us, but also because it just gives you an idea of Maquette history and diesel trains and how London relied on trains like this for a long period of time on its shorter routes.
I think the nice thing is that this is being tested, ready to go into service. We're on it when there's nobody else on it, before it's gone into service, and it's doing part of its proving before running the length of the line here.
It's great though, isn't it?
It is, lovely day out.
Nice day out. Nice
Yeah.
day out. And look at it, as I say, the way they've reupholstered it, redecorated it, I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful job. And I get such a kick, because I used to travel on these trains when they're in service. So to come down here and get on them again, it's lovely. And the noise, listen to the sound of the doors now.
Slam doors, the sound of my childhood.
No, I can't do
No,
that one.
you can't do
Wait
it.
for
We'll
another
do that
one.
outside
It's
later.
so good, the clank.
I have to say as well, though, we've passed a couple of signal boxes so far. I think there is a good idea for an episode in season 4.
We could start series 4.
Bring back Siddy, Laura.
Get the girls on board.
Let's do it. Yeah. All right. Well, what a great day out. Thanks for bringing me here.
Pleasure.
Well, what an amazing day. Thank you so much for organising that, Alex.
Absolute pleasure. What I really love about this place is that train behind us, and it could have gone out of Paddington, or it could have gone between Gospel Oak and Barking, taking people around London. And I love the fact that train is now down here, being looked after by amazing people to live a whole new retirement.
And it's great to see a train with some London provenance that's now come on its holidays and retirement to the seaside. It's great, isn't it? I really like Swanage Railway. I've been here before with the museum. I think it's got more to give. I think we should come back for season 4 and do some more here.
Signals are what we can do.
Yeah.
Because the signals here are quite interesting.
They are very interesting, actually. Yeah, those boxes have got quite a lot to tell us, I think. And of course, what do we use at the start and the end of the show?
Ding ding!
We should come back and do that.
We've got one more thing to do while we're here. Or fish and chips on the beach, shall we?
Let's go. See you on season 4. Helen came out with a great expression the other day. Oh, I was on it like a seagull on ships.
I love that. I love that.
So, should we do it?